What's up everybody? Welcome back to the channel. Today I'm going to finish up installing the side and rear splitters that I got from Wish. Stay tuned. For anyone that didn't see the last video, I did it on installing just the front splitter. I thought I was going to be able to get it all done in one video, but it took a lot longer than what I thought. But it's finished. It looks great. So I'm gonna move on. I've got these side pieces laid out on both sides. They are longer than the actual side of the car, so I'm gonna have to cut a little bit on this front end. The good thing is my little flap here should cover up any cut marks that I make. I'm gonna start with the passenger side over here. This is pretty much the exact same thing as the front. This is gonna be a lot easier because it's just one big straight piece. It's just a matter of measuring how far in I want it. But I'm going to try to keep it in line with this one on the front. So I'm going to start in the back here, work my way forward, and then once I get to the end, I will cut off any excess that I have. This is where I decided to actually drill the holes to mount the splitter to the side here. So if I do it on anywhere along this curve, it's obviously going to be bent, and I'm going to run into issues like I did with the front, and the fin is not going to be straight. So what I found is that this piece right here is very flat. It runs the whole length of this thing, so I shouldn't have any problems with this thing bending. So I've got my holes marked where I want to drill them at. So here is the passenger side, and then here is the driver's side. So you can see the little green dots that I marked. And then underneath the car, I've marked a little spot right there as well. So I know exactly where I want it to go. So I'm going to go do the other side now, put my little dot over there, and then I will get these holes drilled. I actually filmed a short clip of this, but for some reason it only filmed a few seconds. But I took a screenshot so that I could show you guys the mounting hardware that these side splitters came with. So the first thing that I'm going to show you is these little braces that actually connect the two pieces together. So there's two for each side, one connecting the back piece to the middle piece and one connecting the front piece to the middle piece. Up here, it came with 12 of these little mounting plates. I think these are just supposed to make it a little bit more secure so that it's not just screws going in. And then obviously over here, it came with all of the screws to go through the plates. So what I ended up doing is actually using 2 screws. I put it through the little bracing plate there, screwed it into the splitter, and then into the car itself. So what I'm going to do now is actually connect the center piece and the back piece, and then I will use this plate to actually screw both of these pieces into the side skirt. I have the center piece all connected up. It's actually screwed into the car already. I'm going to show you what I did here. So if you look underneath, I have my little brace right here. I've got 2 screws going through the back of it. It goes to the back piece back here. And then I've got 2 screws going into this centerpiece. And then the other thing that I didn't even realize that they gave me, but there's these 2 screws that actually go into these little circles right here that actually connect the 2 pieces together. And this is them right here. So I'm gonna go ahead and go do the other side, and then I will start working on the front pieces. I've got the back and center piece done on both sides. So here is the passenger side, and then over here I've got the driver's side done as well. So I'm going to start working on this front piece, but before I do that, because these things are a little bit too long, I'm going to have to cut it. So all I did was actually just, well, you're not going to be able to see exactly where it's at, but I pushed the center piece up, just kind of line this up, and then you can see where I've made my little dot there. So I'm gonna go get a little straight edge, draw a line, and cut this thing. So as you guys saw, I just measured it out. then just made my little marks, used my straight edge to get a straight line, and then I did have to make a run to Harbor Freight to get some of these little diamond cutoff wheels for my Dremel, or the Harbor Freight version of the Dremel. But it worked great. And then you saw most of the little pieces will just peel off by themselves, but the ones that don't, I just used my dikes to just cut them off. And it made a pretty clean cut. So let me show you what, I've got both sides done, and it's basically gonna sit in there just like that. It ends right behind the little flap there. So I'm gonna go ahead and work on getting these two pieces mounted. I've got the middle piece and the front piece connected. So just like the rear connecting to the center, it looks exactly the same, but I'll show you guys. So you can see the two screws in this plate going to the middle piece, and then the two screws right here going into the plate into the front piece. And then I've got my two screws connecting the two pieces together there. So I'm gonna go ahead and add another one of these little plates and the screws to this centerpiece, because I've only got one, the connecting two pieces, so I want one more in the center to make it a little bit more secure on both sides. And then I'm gonna add one more of the little plates to the front on either side. I'm all finished up with these side pieces. I'm gonna go underneath and show you guys one more time everything that I did. So I've got one brace with the two screws back here, and then moving along to where it connects to the centerpiece here. I've got the brace that goes over both pieces with two screws on either side, and then the two screws in there. And then if I come a little bit further here, I've got one of just the small braces for the middle piece with two screws. And then I've got my brace connecting the middle piece to the front piece with two screws on either side, and the two screws connecting the two, and then one more brace right up front. So in total, I have 3 of the small braces with 2 screws in them, and then obviously both of the connecting braces with 4 screws in each, and I did that to both sides. All right, guys, it's the next day, so I wanted to give you a little bit better look at the side splitters in the light, because it was getting really dark last night. But you can see over here on the passenger side, I think it looks great. There's the front, and then here's this side over here. So I've actually already been working on the rears, and I haven't got anything mounted up yet. I've just kind of been placing it where I want it. And I did run into some issues, and I'm not sure that I'm actually going to use these rear splitters anymore. And I'll show you why. So I liked these because here's the other one I can show you a little better on. I liked the fact that it was curved, and I didn't know how much of a curve it was going to have, and I knew that the back of my car curved, so I thought it was going to work really well. And I don't hate it. Like, it looks fine from the back, I think. And then from the side, I actually like the way that it looks. The things that I don't like about it, one, this one is really, really tall. The side and the front up there, they don't come up as high. So it's kind of clear that it doesn't match. The other thing that I really don't like about it is if you look at it from the front, this front piece, it lines up with the wheel and tire really nice. And then the side piece lines up really nice. But if you can see right there, it sticks out. I mean, it sticks out probably about 2 inches. So I'm gonna zoom in or kind of get it closer up here. And I really don't like that. I don't like the fact that it sticks out like that. I mean, it's very noticeable from the front. So I found some other ones on Wish that I liked. They actually have the fast shipping, so I think I'm gonna order those. They don't curve around. They're actually kind of just like the sides, and they're only about, I don't know, I think they only come up to about right here. So they're just little shorties. And I think that that's gonna not only look better, but also be a little bit easier to install. All right, guys, it's been about a week. I got my new rear splitters in. This is the box that it came in. You can see that it's much smaller than the old ones, but I just wanted you to see how it was packaged. So I'm gonna go ahead and open this up, and then I will show you guys what they look like. Here are the new rear splitters. So they came in a little plastic bag, just like everything else. You can see all the old ones over there, but huge, huge difference. in the size and the model that I chose. So I'm gonna get these kind of mocked up on the car and I'll let you guys see that. After mocking this thing up on the car, you can see that it hangs over quite a bit. But if you look over here on this side, you can also see how much space is in between the splitter and the wheel well here. And what happens is the inside, because of the bumper being curved and the splitter being straight, it hits a little flap on the inside. So what I'm gonna actually do is pull this back and line it up flush with this, see how much excess is hanging over. I'm gonna try to mark it with a marker or something, and I'm actually gonna cut that off. This is the look that I'm going for. I have to hold it in place here right now, but you can see that there's no gap in between the wheel well and the splitter. It's pretty flush, but you can see inside of there where the back side of it is hitting the little mud flap. So what I've done is marked it up already. I drew a line, so that should give me just enough clearance so that that flap can come all the way back, and this will line up fine. Just like the front of the side splitters, I used my Dremel with the little cutoff wheel to trim that little excess piece off. And so I've got it back on the car now, and you can see I've got it exactly how I want it lined up. And if you look in there, that flap doesn't touch it at all. Now that I've got my little piece notched in there, I can use the screws that they gave me to start getting this thing mounted up. I've got one screw in. Basically, all I did was just line the piece up how I wanted it, made a dot with my permanent marker on the bottom side of the splitter, drilled a hole, then realigned it back up. I took my little tiny drill bit, stuck it through the hole that I drilled into the splitter, and just kind of scored the underside of the bumper. That way I knew where I wanted my hole to be at on the bumper so that everything would line up. Took my drill, drilled a hole, and then screwed it in. This first screw that I have in back here, you can see it there. I don't have it tightened down all the way just yet, and the reason why I don't is I want to make sure that I can still wiggle this thing back and forth. That way I can get this back part lined up the way that I want it. I went ahead and did the exact same thing to the driver's side that I did over there. So I trimmed off the excess to make sure that it fit behind the flap there, and then I put my one screw in. And I did this mainly just to make sure that both sides are even and lined up. That way I don't do all of this, everything to this side, and then come over here and try to do everything to this side and everything not line up. So now that I have the one screw in on both of them, I'm gonna go ahead and start lining up this back piece and get these mounted up. So I've got both sides completely mounted up with a screw on either end. So let me let you take a look at it here. It's very subtle. I like it a lot, actually. I like it a lot more than what I thought I was going to. Much better than these giant things over here. But yeah, so this is pretty much what it's going to look like. I am going to add 2 more screws in the center on both sides just to make it a little bit more secure. But other than that, these rear pieces are done. All right, last little clip, guys, of these rear ones. I just wanted to show you all of my bolts underneath. So I've got one right there on the end, one there in the center, one there to the outside, and then the one closest to the little flap there. So I did that to both sides, 4 screws in each one. And you can see here, I mean, it's not going anywhere. Super secure. Give you guys one last little loop around the whole car. So there's the side of them. Here's the sides. There's the front. Other side here. And back to the rear. That's it. I'll catch you guys next time.